All right, CompTrain Masters 18.2 has two scores with a 12-minute time cap, an ascending ladder couplet of dumbbell squats with burpees, and a max effort clean in the time remaining. Despite it being two scores, here's our overarching thought as we enter. Focus on giving our full effort in the couplet 18.2. It's human nature to think of letting up on the gas pedal even just slightly on this couplet given how we have a max effort lift that follows, but it's in our best interest not to. 18.2 is a fast workout. Hundreds and hundreds of competitors will be inside the same minute. Seconds matter here, arguably more than ever before in the open. Moving 15 seconds slower here will not give us an edge to lift more weight in 18.2. It likely will not make a difference at all. But 15 seconds in 18.2 can be dozens, maybe hundreds of spots on the leaderboard. Whereas our mind may lead us to thinking that we should save some effort for the clean, let's recognize it's not worth going at 18.2 at 95%. We want to give it our full 100. Starting with the squat burpee, we first want to acknowledge two things. The halfway point is when we're starting the round of eights. The front half leading up to this point is essentially our buy-in. We know from our training that it doesn't pay off to come out so aggressively that we slow in the second half of a workout. Although that theme is sometimes more obvious in a 20-minute AMRAP such as last week, we still want to apply the same mindset here. Number two, it's purposely programmed in reverse elegance. Instead of the rep scheme descending, 21, 15, 9, we're moving in reverse and ascending. On these first few rounds, 1 through 7, the workout's almost baiting us into moving too fast. Understanding that through the 7s is just the halfway point, we want to make our move on the back 3 rounds, 8, 9, and 10. In order to do so, we need to hold back on the throttle just enough to allow that to happen. But the catch isn't that we're moving slow to start. We're just instead going to control our cycle time. Our transitions will be immediate and disciplined. They take no effort out of us. What we can control to level our heart rate is how fast we're squatting and how fast we're completing those burpees. Our transitions throughout should be lightning fast. Let our cycle time in the first few rounds be the enabler of our burst towards the end. The temptation to push early will be there, but again, we must remind ourselves that the second half of the workout starts on the round of 8s. Moving on to the dumbbell. Given how the repetition scheme is comprised of small sets, setup time counts. Moving into and out of position is an important factor, which is time that quickly adds up. As we think through the next front rack strategies, it is something we want to consider, but we also know that positioning is key. And if we're fighting the dumbbells, especially in the early rounds, it will only compound later. The first technique is a straightforward front rack of the dumbbell. It's a relatively fast setup, but it demands good positioning. Be sure to place the back of the dumbbell far back of the shoulder, if not close to feeling like it's behind you, so that the weight does not pull you forward as you squat. The second technique is a variation of that front rack, where instead of the bells facing forward, we can pinch them together in front of us. Note that the back head of the dumbbell still remains on the shoulder. This can provide additional stability, it's a bit more forgiving on the wrists, and it's a relatively quick setup. The third technique adds some additional stability, but requires a brief setup time. This is the vertically stacked method we used in the walking lunge workout last year. Similar to that, the final technique is we can actually rack the dumbbells fully on the shoulders. We can even let go of the dumbbell handles, which is now allowed inside the standards. The standard is the hand must be in contact anywhere on the dumbbell. So it can be at the base, it can be at the head, anywhere on the dumbbell is good to go. Now these longer setup times may be warranted as we get deeper into the sets, such as the 8, 9, or 10, but again, we want to take into consideration their setup time and what fits best for us. On to the burpees. The standard is that both feet must jump back at the same time and both feet must jump up at the same time. Essentially takes away the step-up burpee. Understanding that consistency in our cycle time is important to finding our best time, here's 3 variations. The first is a burpee jump up, followed by stepping closer to the bar. The step close minimizes the jump up and over, minimizing that effort, and it must be a 2-foot jump per the standards. After landing, cross step, turn around, and drop for the next repetition. A very smooth and methodical pace, but the slowest of the 3. The second is a very similar jump up and step closer, but as we jump over the bar, we're turning now mid-air. Cuts down the transition for the next repetition. The third is the fastest, a jump jump. Jump up from the burpee, immediately into jumping up and over the bar, turning mid-air. All 3 variations can be used throughout the workout, but the key take-home message is this: consistency. We want to be aggressive here, but we want to be consistent through all 1 through 9 with the final 10 being a dead sprint. And lastly, the clean. Now, the amount of attempts we have here naturally depends on where we finish the workout, but to start, it's good practice for everybody to plan out 3 weights: our safe weight, our goal weight, and our reach weight. As simply guiding numbers to us, our safe weight is the first lift we make after the workout. It should be a number that we're very confident we can lift, somewhere around 70%, just for example. Our goal weight is a weight we'd be happy leaving the workout with. It may or may not be close to our PR. It's relative to the workout, but we'd be happy with it. For someone who has 6 minutes to find their max, it may be close to 90 or 95%. They'll have probably several builds to get there, but it's probably going to get that high. For someone who has 2 minutes, we don't have the luxury of taking several building sets. We may aim for 80 or 85% for our goal weight. This is where we can take some rough but educated guesses on how we want to game plan our efforts. Our reach weight is a number we would be ecstatic with, maybe even surprised if we made the lift. Now, naturally, we'd only try this potentially PR weight if we made our goal weight. Regardless if we have 6 minutes or 2 minutes, we can think through these 3 weights, the safe, the goal, and the reach, as guiding numbers. Refer to the full write-up for 2 scenarios that are written out as examples for how to build. Here's our take-home points with the clean. Number 1, build the plan with flexibility. The 3 target weights can provide us with some guidance on some weight selections, but the exact numbers, this will still be based off feel and how much time we have. Plan to be adaptable here. Number 2, use the judge and your friends to change weights. If able, in between lifts, the athlete should not be changing loads. We want full rest here. And number 3, it sounds simple, but commit. We will be fatigued and we will be challenged here. The bar will feel heavy coming off the floor. Commit to seeing the lift through despite it all. This is the time to go for it. Commit and be fearless. That is 18.2. Team, let's go get it.